welcome back to...
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to me.
Who's this? Who is this guy? Name yourself.
It's me, Adam.
Okay.
Adam.
And I'm Joel, and I play
Dax.
Dax, a kobold rogue.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep going.
I'm Ryan, I play Ryu, a tiefling magus. Elf magus.
Wait, Adam normally kicks us off?
Wait, he did.
What?
Okay.
He
For some
cut
reason
me
I
off.
thought... Yeah. All right. I'm Taryn.
I just thought you were talking to me.
I play Waltz, a human. Should I say it, Zach?
No.
I'd say it.
Definitely.
Champion.
Definitely don't say it.
Oh.
He said it.
You did.
Well,
I mean, you definitely don't say it now.
yeah.
that's
Now,
what you're asking
wait.
about.
Did I say it right though?
Say what?
The thing, human champion.
Yeah. You said that. Yeah. Hey, Joel, clean that up in editing so that it doesn't.
Can't wait.
Yeah, make it
Taryn
sound
not
really
sound
good.
so dumb, or just let him.
I
sound
like how we
dumb.
were like, we got to be on our A game for this recording. And
Right.
Taryn wasn't here for that part, so he didn't know. Taryn, we're trying to be on our
always
A
do
game
a
for this
bit.
recording, and Adam ruined it from the beginning. So obviously Taryn's just following Adam's
We always
lead.
do a bit. That was the bit.
We have
this
never
time,
done a
okay?
bit. When have we ever done a
We've
bit?
always
Go
done a
back
bit.
and listen to all
We
the
always
episodes.
do a
We've
bit.
never done a bit. This is
Nope, no
this is
bits.
getting
That's a lie.
ridiculous, dude. All right, no more bits, Adam. Ever. We've never do bits on this podcast. All right.
Nope.
You don't want to see my bits?
Okay. I do want to see your bits. Actually, you can send me that after.
Okay.
Anybody else feeling like a funny guy? Anyone else trying to be funny today?
No,
Ryan, you look like
sir.
you're trying to be
No,
funny.
I
You're
am
smiling over
earnest at all
Never.
times.
All
I'm
right.
done, okay? I'm finished.
All right. Well, last time on Mortals and Portals, which is the podcast we are listening to, I didn't get to say that at the beginning. It's a real play, not an actual play. It's really us playing, and that's why I say real play.
No AI here.
So,
Really?
yeah, it's a
It's
Pathfinder
a
one.
maybe us playing.
It's really us trying to play Pathfinder.
There it is.
So yeah, and it's a podcast too. Can't remember if I mentioned that. And yeah, you guys know I've been posting these online, right?
What?
Wait, what?
These recordings?
No, it's a
You promised
podcast.
you
I've
wouldn't.
been
I
putting
thought
them
these
all
were for
online.
our children someday.
A time capsule of just tireless editing of like just us playing Pathfinder just for that's kind of beautiful. No, I wouldn't
Imagine
do
your
that.
kids hate it too.
Yeah, they're like, this is so to leave us a 1-star review. Blair,
One star
hey.
review. Yeah. 1 star review for my children.
one.
Uh,
My
Yep,
be
this,
me.
you know what the sad part is? This is our A game, actually. This is our A game. Let's see. What happened last time on Mortals and Portals? Actually, Joel texted the group text and was like, hey, to
I
save
did.
time, so because we were all getting on late, we're trying to get 2 episodes in. We've yet to do that this season. We want to get 2 episodes in this one session. So Joel was like, hey, can you just send us like what happened so we're all in the right mindset? So I'm just going to read what I sent. Waltz
great idea.
is being led safely through the storm by the Gameltor. Ryu and the Erikai are on the move to liberate a node from Fangdom control. Dax just awakened. Is it awakened or awoke? I actually took a while
Awakened.
to decide. All right.
Surely.
Dax just awakened his Draxu powers, which I forgot how to spell Draxu, but apparently my phone was like, I know how you spell Draxu, you weirdo who texts about made up words all the time, and it helped me out. Dax just awakened his Draxu powers and returned to Keeper's Keep. Jules just rescued Kyra and returned to Keeper's Keep. Is that better than my normal recap? Should I just do those from now on? Just kind of just read it like
certainly
that?
concise.
It was concise. That made up for the time we wasted talking about Uber Eats and all that stuff. So that is what happened. And we're going to start our session with Waltz because he wasn't here last episode. I don't even know if you remember that, Taryn. It's been so long since we've recorded. You weren't here last time, buddy. We missed you.
Good to see you.
How you been?
Good.
All right. That's
Good.
all I needed. All right. So we're going to start with Waltz. It's like I haven't talked to Taryn in 2 months. How you doing? Good. All right. It was such a convincing good. I was like, I don't need any follow-up questions. This
Yeah,
man's
that's what you're
doing
supposed
well.
to say when someone asks you that question.
Right. And that's when your
Yeah,
wife
I
will
do
be
see
like,
the
well,
deep sadness
how's,
in your eyes. but
how's everyone
I'm gonna
else?
ignore that.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
the sake of
you
the
said good.
for the story's sake, I'm gonna ignore the deep sadness in your eyes. So
Yeah, we just
Lord Farquaad
we
wig was
really
a bold
can't
choice, but
handle
you're kind of rocking
all
it.
that right now. So
yeah, we don't really have time for. They're your characters are
We
going
don't
through
have time
stuff, so
for it.
I don't really care about
Yeah.
how you're doing, Taryn.
We just
Yeah,
can't
everybody's
deal
got
with
their own
you right now,
problems,
Taryn.
Yeah, Taryn, everyone's going through something, buddy. You don't have to have that deep sadness in your eyes.
Right. It's clearly especially you are going through something, but we still don't have time.
Like,
That's
it's
all right.
not. Yeah. All right. Can you just hang in there for a couple hours, buddy? And just
Yeah.
kind of get this recording in. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So, Waltz, you've been wandering through this storm. Obviously, after you defeated the elementals that were conjured, infused with the power of the Anweld, and defeated them, you absorbed that power, and it awakened. Here I go again. I don't remember. Awakened something in you.
Awokened.
We've already awokened something in you.
Find a synonym.
And it supercharged your sense of the Gamel Tour, and you feel like you've been following this pole, this strand that is just leading you safely through the storm. Like wherever you step is where the wind is, and wherever you step is where the lightning doesn't strike. Like you are just safe and protected, and you've been following it for a while, and eventually emerge in the eye of this storm as the rain sort of dwindles behind you. You're getting further from the lightning. It's sort of this gradual experience, but as you step through the last remnants of the mist, you can clearly just see you are surrounded in this circular sky-high wall of a storm, but yet look out and just see this beautiful pocket where the sun just shines magnificently through. You see green grass, almost like it created this just vortex of just sucking all the snow and cold air, and it's just a very beautiful pocket in the middle of Arcta, protected by the storm. And you realize you're standing somewhere where probably nobody has stood in thousands of years, because no one can get through the storm. And you know that Baodin essentially said at the center of the storm is this weapon called the Isengol, infused with the Anweld. He said it came from a meteor from space. That's the legend. And the Illuminati, the one worthy of this power star that rained down on Arcta. So you just continue to walk through this beautiful vista, sharp contrast to the gray clouds that are just slowly churning around you. Probably feel very relieved. You're probably pretty wet and beat up and probably pretty tired. And you're sort of letting your guard down. Maybe your weapon's just hanging loosely at your side as you walk on this nice moist grass. And eventually you come up to a large crater, it's just massive. And you're standing on the edge of it. Can you roll me a religion check with a +4 circumstance bonus? Please with a +4.
23.
Awesome. So Waltz, as you're standing here on the edge of this crater, you have this very strange sense of peace, and for a while you can't really describe how it feels. It's very noticeable though. You're surprised you feel so calm after all you've been through and the reason you're here, and you should be more excited than anything, but you just feel really calm. And eventually you recognize this is a childlike type of peace, a peace you haven't felt since before your mom died, before the Fade started, before your dad went to war. It's a very unique feeling of the innocence of life, but specifically makes you think of your mom, Elabeth, because it's a feeling you haven't felt since then. And as you look down the crater and you see a few ways you could maybe step down and traverse this, you see something glistening in the sunlight, something that looks very small, but it's at the very center of this crater, implanted in the ground, but you can tell there's some metal down there.
Waltz will have a feeling of childlike curiosity as he just absorbs this moment and explores with his eyes everything that's going on around him. Almost literally he's discovering something new, just like he was a kid. And I'll walk towards that object.
So you descend this crater. It's clearly an ancient crater. You can see the signs that it is a crater, and it is huge, but it's sort of weathered a bit and has had rock slides and little things like that. So there's sort of makeshift steps in there. And it's just this very odd experience of stepping on truly ancient ground, where no other person has been since before it landed here thousands of years ago. And as you make your way down, carefully descending, you approach this object, and as you get closer to it, you just feel this pulse of power reaching out to you, and it's getting stronger as you get closer to it. and it feels almost like it's tugging on you as you approach. And when you get there, you realize that this is a gauntlet that looks like it's been punched into the ground, like coming into the crater at an angle, and it's sort of had some moss and grass grow over parts of it. Like you can tell it's just never moved since it impacted the ground here and created this crater, but it looks pristine at the same time. Like none of the elements or time has dimmed the metal in any way, and it does look otherworldly, almost like it has this slight holographic finish to the metal. As the light catches it, the color changes at like certain angles, and it just looks like it's infused with some sort of like foreign mineral, something you've never seen. Like you've never laid eyes on metal that looks quite like this. And you can see the gauntlet is like uncinched, like it's all metal, but it's open, like it's awaiting a hand to go into it. And you feel like it's just calling out to you, and you just feel so at peace right now, like that childlike peace that you have as you're standing here.
I'm gonna put my hand in the gauntlet.
That's a good idea, dude. Whilst you slide your hand into the gauntlet and get all your fingers in there, and suddenly you feel it just grip around you, around your forearm, and it just form fits to you. You sort of just instinctively clench your fist as the gravel around it just sort of crumbles and the grass falls off of it. And as it tightens and you clench your fist, you just feel energy surge through your body, and then electricity just starts to dance all around you as you see the storm clouds just pulsing like all around you 360 degrees, and your hair just ignites with bright white light, like just standing straight up, your eyes flare white, your armor almost like the elements of the runes that Geldir put in there to allow it to change shape. It's almost like it's mixing with this magic, and it just starts to take a whole new form. And I'm going to leave this completely open to you on what it looks like, but this armor just looks top tier, like magnificent, almost like who could have made this sort of thing. Like it's almost like maybe you have a cape. I don't know. I'm leaving it up to you, but you can still transform it if you want. But right now in this moment, it is as if it was sent by gods, like for you to wear in this moment. And as like all of the storm clouds start to just pulse and look extremely violent, and you're just feeling all this energy surging through you, around you, you feel like you can see with new sight, like your Gameltor is just peaked in this moment, and you can see like a very specific splinter of space-time that is reaching like far, like you don't know if it's going to like another reality, another time, another planet. Like you have no idea where this is going, but you know exactly like what this is. This is something reaching out to you, and it feels familiar and it feels extremely trustworthy, but you would just have to reach out and grab it.
I want to do that, Zach. I want to reach out and grab this thing.
Do it.
I was like, dude, just say, why are you even asking me, bro?
Yeah, let me grab it.
All right. You raise your gauntlet, the Isengol, into the sky, and almost like you can see something that nobody else can, just sort of wrap your hand around it and close your fists, and instantly you feel your consciousness rip across time and space as if somebody else just pulled it out of you and brought it to them. And suddenly you feel yourself, your conscious just halt, almost like going through a node, except it's just this like psychedelic mental experience. And you find yourself sitting on a patch of grass under a tree. This tree looks like one you might find on Lorthal. It is thick with deep roots, a wide canopy that you're sitting under. But oddly, the leaves are blue. I feel like this is something you haven't really seen before, but it does feel familiar just from your time on Lorthal. And this patch of grass you're on is in the middle of a void, and you notice this void, the ground, looks like space. Like you see stars and shifting nebulas on this ground. And as you look across this void, you see there are other patches of land. And some of these patches look like desert, and some look like rock, and some look like snow, and some look lush in other ways, and some look completely foreign. Some look like they're from a world you've never seen or heard of, but they're everywhere. They're just sort of dotting this void. And you also notice that all of these little patches have little stone walls built around them. Like where the wall starts is where the patch starts, and then beyond the wall is just this void. They're all circular, and you see on these walls, every single one, including yours, there is a circular stone doorway, and it looks a lot like a node. Similar etchings, similar sigils, but it seems to be a door. It's the only way in and out of these walls. And as you're taking all of this in and scanning, eventually you scan to the point where you see sitting directly next to you is your mother, Elabeth. She's sitting under the tree. She looks just as she was, as you remember her before she got the fade and passed away as a child. And she's smiling at you.
Mom, is that really you?
When you say this, even though she's right next to you, you feel like your words have so far to go, and they die like before they reach her. Like you hear them leave your mouth and just instantly lose all momentum. And you realize she can't hear you as she's just continuing to smile, but she gives a deep blink and a little bit of a nod, almost like, yes, I can't hear you, but like, it's okay. And then you look down and notice part of her chest is transparent, as it was when she first contracted the fade. If you remember, Raul, when he was explaining the fade to Jules, said if you're lucky, you get the fade on a limb that you can amputate, that you can live without, and there's a chance to live. You know, the same thing happened to your dad. He got it on his leg and he was able to amputate it, but your mother, she contracted it in her chest and there was just no way to amputate her chest. And she sees you looking down at her chest and looks down and looks pretty somber, but looks up and tries to give you an assuring nod again.
Can I walk towards her? Am I far away from her?
You're sitting right next to her under this tree.
But she still can't hear me.
Right. Like your words, when they leave your mouth, seem like they have so far to go and die before they reach her, even though you're physically right next to her.
Waltz is trying to take all of this in right now. There's so much to look at and absorb and try and understand, and he doesn't really know where to start. He's trying to understand what all these nodes, he's trying to understand where all these nodes might be and analyze these, but he's mostly drawn to his mother, obviously, who hasn't seen in forever, and is trying to figure out how he can talk to her, communicate with her, understand what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's maybe you're panicking a little bit. Like you can tell she's conveying like it's okay, but the only thing you know where you are right now is her. Like everything else is foreign, but you're like, I know you, and like you bring me comfort, and you're sort of stressed just seeing her fade, and maybe you go to like reach for her, and right as you do that, you just see the fade spread entirely across her body, like at a rapid rate, not how it actually played out, but just engulfs her entire body, and she instantly fades away right as you reach for her.
No.
And maybe you stand up and look around, and now that you're alone or wondering where you are, and you do notice that as you look at these other patches that are engulfed in the same walls with the node-like door, you do see other ancestries like sitting on these patches. You know, some you recognize, like some you might look over and see a dwarf or a human or an orc or something like that. And then some of these patches, you don't even know what you're looking at. They look like something you've never seen or heard of. And that's very strange to you. And as you're scanning again, you now see on the other side of the wall of the patch you're on, your mom is standing there just outside the wall surrounding the patch you're on, standing on that void of space.
I feel like Waltz's initial reaction would be to just continue following her or kind of chasing after that.
Sure. Yeah, you walk up to this wall, and as you get to it, you realize it's too high for you to climb. It's almost like you're in a dream, like you know you can't climb this wall for some reason, and it's like sturdy and you press on it, but then you remember there's that circular doorway that looks like a node, and you go up to it and It's almost like there's a way to open it. You like press your hand against it, but it's locked. It's firm. And you look back over this wall and see your mom staring at you, and with tears in her eyes, she smiles one more time. And then her body just changes entirely. Like she becomes like this dark shadow. Like she loses all features. Like she's just this silhouette, like a completely black void of what she used to be. And gradually, almost like the shape of a human body starts to change. And she just looks like this collection of essence, like energy, like almost shapeless, like it's sort of shifting and churning. And as she's doing that, she's just slowly turning from you and heading away from this wall. And as you look beyond it, you see she's joining like a mass of similar voids, like similar shadows, like entering into this large force of darkness, of shadow. Maybe you even try and call out to her again and realize your voice just cannot, it simply cannot reach, like it cannot go beyond you. And as she joins this force, you see them all sort of shift and churn up towards this rocky hill. Like it looks like this destroyed landscape, like a remnant of something catastrophic happening, and standing atop it is the silhouette of another figure that looks like it is also made of stars. Sort of reminds you of Service's wings. In fact, you see a silhouette that looks like Service's wings, and you also see atop the head of this silhouette looks like a very jagged crown, and you just see like energy sparking off this silhouette, like ghostly wisps coming off of it. It looks menacing. It is huge. It is standing in a commanding pose atop this rubble, and you can tell this army of shadow is just looking up to it for leadership. And all of the stars along this voided floor just start to pulse and flicker as you hear this figure say, Omniscium ad fenum error creatum exulf Elfurium. And that was Elder, and it means the beginning has come to its end. Erase what is created and unleash annihilation. And this figure raises its finger and points at one of the patches, and you see the node-like door simply open as some of the army siphons off and begins to flood into this wall patch and just consume the humanoids inside and destroy it and rip apart the landscape. And the figure points to another patch, and it opens its node doorway, and they begin to flood inside and just consume and destroy and annihilate. And they're just pointing everywhere and everywhere, and you just see all these patches being destroyed while you're locked behind your wall. And you maybe panic and you're trying to get out, but your door just won't open. It's not ready. It can't move, and there's nothing you can do. And you just hear all of these patches just crying out for help, and no one is there to help them. And you see the army starting to gather outside your patch. Like, you know soon that this door is going to open and they're going to come inside, and there's nothing you can do. And there's no way to get out and help anyone because this door is closed. And then you feel a hand on your shoulder, and you look, and almost like in this dreamlike state, you just see a bunch of faceless people, humanoids, ancestries. Like, you don't know, like you can tell some are maybe an orc. It seems like they're shifting. You don't know what they are. Sometimes they're an elf, sometimes they're an orc, sometimes there's a dwarf. There's many of them. They're all over. Sometimes like an Azerketi, sometimes a kobold. It's just this like nameless, faceless collection of ancestries. And in one voice they say, "Go, keeper, save them all. We will defend this tree." And you turn and look and see the figure point to your door, and it opens, and the shadows begin to flood in. And as they rush past you to fight those behind you, you see that since this door is open, and lock eyes with this figure who has been opening the doors and commanding these forces, you can run across this void to fight him. And as you realize that the connection, whatever brought you here to put you in this moment, is severed by no decision of your own, and you're sent flooding back across time and space and back into your body on Arcta as you're standing in the middle of this crater and you look down at this gauntlet. It's almost like smoldering, like it grabbed onto some kind of energy that was just about to destroy it, but was able to hold on. And you also notice, even standing inside the crater, that the storm is completely gone.
Holy moly.
Dude.
That don't sound good.
Waltz will look terrified, and what do I notice about the gauntlet? It's just smoldering still in my hand?
It is smoldering on your hand. It fits perfectly. You and its power are one. It was meant for you. It is not rejecting you, and it feels like it was designed for you specifically. And just so you know, the weapon you are wielding has the stats of the Sonic Tuning Mace, which I'll drop a link in this chat if you want to check it out.
I would like to check that out, Zach.
And I'll give you time to look at
check
that.
out too,
but
if I could.
Tuning.
long story short, this thing can create sonic booms and lightning and
Nice.
all sorts of really cool stuff. And this like radia power that is infused to you feels like it's expanding upon like that electric arc, that like ability you've had that you seem to be slowly awakening. I can't hear it. There's that word again. And it feels familiar to like what you absorbed when you killed the elemental. And you can tell that the Anweld is what was guarding the storm. The storm itself, the elementals that were fighting you, it all originated from this Isengol, but now it has found you, and it is no longer supporting those things, maintaining that magic, and it's now simply fused to you. And Waltz, Taryn, I know you know this, but Waltz has just become an exemplar, and he is no longer a champion.
Oh, yeah. No longer
Narrative.
champion exemplar now.
Class change.
Waltz
And
is
this
now
is one of
a
your icons, this weapon.
That's
Heck
pretty
yes.
sick.
Waltz will be terrified at what he just saw, seeing the face, what he assumes is the face of a new enemy, and still trying to put together what exactly it is that he experienced. But will also have some small amount of confidence that slowly starts to grow within him, that it seems that he was trusted with this weapon and this power to fight this new enemy. He feels like he has some force that's on his side and understands his new purpose and has identified his new enemy. And once he takes a moment to think through those things, he'll continue to look at the gauntlet and flip his hand around, grasp his fingers, open them up, get a feel for this new weapon of his, and look around him, try and figure out if he knows where to go next.
Yeah, Waltz, you start to climb out of this crater, this still lightly smoldering Isengol, the storm completely gone, and as you crest the threshold of the crater, you just see Baodin standing there, who looks at you and just falls to his knees, and he says, "By the Radia, the Illuminati." And it's like he can't believe it's finally been realized, like all the suffering he endured, all the waiting he did, and he sees you cresting the hill,
It's happening.
and he is prepared to tell you how to get home. And with that, we will cut to Ryu.
Oh.
The Erikai, the rebels, all of you are marching to Avekshan, where you're going to attack and liberate a fortified node. It was a well-selected node just because of the proximity to other rebels that'll join your cause, how remote it is, all sorts of things. But this is going to be a big attack. It is also your opportunity to introduce yourself to the Fangdom as the Unbound. Like, you want to strike fear in them. You know they know the legend. Especially, like, I don't know if Ryu technically knows this, but the legend that you created in your origins when you killed like an entire squad of Fangdom soldiers as a kid and your horns like protruded, like there is a legend of a demon like Erikai that has the ability to kill an entire squad. And you now know that that was like the dormant power you've like now awakened, and you want to put that on full display again and let them know like this horned Erikai who can kill small armies of Angdom soldiers single-handedly is here.
Yeah, I'm real.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're real. And sort of a unique situation. Like, so you're kind of following some of Kofi's lead. You're trusting in these rebels to help you in this attack. Basically, the plan is, some of these rebels are going to pose as an actual Fangdom patrol and gain entrance into this fort, and then open a gate once they're inside and allow like the Urukai to like flood in, and you're just gonna like blindside them and like destroy them. So you're sort of like leveraging this new alliance and showing the benefits of that. And also at the same time, you're allowing one of these rebels to lead you through Avekshan because they're native to it. And this is like kind of stirring some mixed feelings amongst the Urukai because they're like, we're letting a goblin lead us, but like you're trying to like set a precedent here. And it's even a little strange because like this goblin, their name is Norag, that is leading you, seems to be like taking a route that is unorthodox, or like one you guys wouldn't intuitively take. Like for one, you could maybe go through these mountains, but he wants to avoid the mountains for superstitious reasons. He thinks they're sacred and they shouldn't be disturbed, things like that. All sorts of things that like is just fueling the Urukai's like distrust and like questioning your decision making, but you're sort of holding firm in that. And as you guys are marching, you've been marching probably for a couple days, you maybe still have like a day or two left to go. Jin comes up shoulder to shoulder next to you, and you're sort of getting a sense, like maybe how long he's been walking next to you in silence, which is sort of unusual for him at like the role he's taken and like the way he like speaks for you and like tries to help you and like monitors things. You can sense that he wants to talk to you about something.
Jin, I can sense there are words hanging heavy on your mind. Speak.
He lifts his head and then looks at you and then back down and says, yeah, there is. It's no secret I'm not the Unbound, but I feel there's more to it than that. The power I used, it was not my own.
And where do you think you obtained this power from?
I don't exactly know. And he's kind of like looking over his shoulder. Like he's basically telling you that he's a fraud, but there's like part of him that doesn't want everyone to know. Like you can tell he respects your position and the fact that you're the true Unbound so much that like he hates that he hasn't come clean on this. But it's still like difficult for him. And he says, once I knew of the prophecy, I tried. Many of us did. To channel the ley line, I knew we had to channel the entire thing and that we were supposed to do without a Kenoshi, but I tried to use it as a conduit. Put as much of it into my Kenoshi as I could before passing it to my body. It didn't hold up, of course. And he sort of slides his Kenoshi out of his sheath a little bit, and you remember he has this fractured Kenoshi that he pieced back together with his awakened power. It's sort of fused by ley line energy. So obviously he tried and it exploded. And he says, but still, I channeled more than any of the other Urukai. I thought I must be close. So I journeyed into the desert to meditate, thinking if I just expanded my aura, perhaps I could be successful next time. And obviously there's like more to this story because it doesn't explain like why his arm was burnt necessarily if you put everything into the sword itself.
Okay.
While I was meditating, I was confronted by an energy unlike anything I have ever felt. He looks at you like, do you understand what I'm saying? It overwhelmed my senses. It was a sharp pain. No, Okita. It was unlike anything they could have ever mustered. Fish, the leaders before him, all of them combined. It was unbelievable, Ryu. Even your power, it was different. And the energy, I laid eyes upon it. It was uncontained by a body. It merely floated in place. It was black, like the depths of the night sky. And it spoke to me. Told me the Unbound was dead, and the title must now be taken by force. And if I merely allow it into my body, it would give me the power to harness the ley line. I felt like what it said was true. If there was no Unbound coming, then I must take it by force. I had to let it in. So I agreed, and I consumed this energy. I could tell it was more than I could withstand, but it was suppressing itself for my sake. And with it, I was able to harness the ley line And he just raises up his hand, and you can see his like whole arm was burnt all the way up to the side of his face. It took a tremendous toll on my body, burned my arm and my face, but I consumed the ley line. At least the energy within me did, and I had that power I desperately craved. But it gave me something else, anger and hate, and it caused me to lead in a way unbefitting of a chief. And he sort of hangs his head. Like, you remember when you were talking to him and he was so angry and so hateful when you talked to him, and how he was
for sure.
exiling the Arakai and didn't care that they died trying to channel it, and was just leading with this like iron fist, and it just seemed like there was no honor in the way he led. Arakai don't really have compassion, but they have like respect for one another, and you just felt like that was so obviously lacking in him. Don't get me wrong, Ryu. I wanted to beat you. I've always wanted to beat you. But when you showed up, I wanted to kill you. I wanted to devour you. But during that fight, the moment I realized you were the Unbound, it's like that power within me did too. And it left me. It's gone. And after our battle, I don't feel that hate and that anger anymore. For that I am grateful. But I don't know what that was. And I don't know where it is. And I don't know what it wants. But it wants the Unbound to exist. And I think once it saw that you were the Unbound, its work with me was done. But, Ryu, if that thing wants the Unbound to destroy the Fangdom, well, I'm not sure if that's what we're supposed to do. And I know that's a crazy thing to say. And I agree, we do need to fight them here. We do need to liberate this node. We do need to free those oppressed by the Fangdom. And we do need to give the Arakai hope. But after that, I'm just not sure anymore.
The gravity of your words, Jin, is massive, and I can understand why they must have weighed so heavily on your mind.
Can you roll me an Arcana check? With a
No.
+4 circumstance bonus?
Oh, in that
Are
case.
you talking to me, Zach?
Yes.
No, I haven't talked to you since you interrupted me in the beginning, remember?
Okay. Do you want me to just go back in
I
the
don't
corner?
care
back
what you
here?
do. Just do something.
Okay.
Just get out of here.
Just let me know. Let me know if you need me. Okay.
I won't.
I got a 32.
Well, first I'm going to
Nice.
ask Ryan, does the idea of a power that overwhelmed your senses
Sound
seem
familiar?
mysterious? Wanted Ryu to realize their destiny and not die in the sands of Desolus? This piercing power, does that sound familiar to Ryan at all?
I mean, to me, it sounds like the situation that Ryu ran into when he was blind walking the deserts of Desolus, and like something was trying to guide him to the node.
Before that. So
No.
similar, you might be confusing the two moments. When you passed out in the sand and were like dehydrated and about to give up and die,
Mm-hmm.
something approached you and said, I thought Arakai were persistent, yet here you are, letting the elements get the better of you. And they said to get up and you can't die here. And you said, who are you? And you said, you'll know soon enough. All of Keldora will know soon enough. Back in Ryu Origins, Part 2.
What you are describing, Jin, this overwhelming power, this sharp pain, I have sensed before as well. And I can tell you this, there are certainly those whose objectives do not align with the Arakai's entirely, have an overlapping objective of toppling the Fangdom. A druid named Sindor, whom I met on Lorthal, wished to help me, keep me alive, provide me with a weapon so that I may return to Desolus and fight against the Fangdom. I am ashamed to say that I had considered allying with him, even though, in hindsight, I truly did despise him.
That's interesting. As you say that, I realize that like your story is similar to what Jin just went through, like accepting help from someone else to realize the Unbound
Right.
power. That's interesting. I didn't even realize that until I said
Right.
that.
So, Jin, I can't say I blame you for giving in to such a power. There are many things that the Arakai must leave in the past, and if this is something you wish to bury as well, that is permissible. However, we must be keen and aware of this sensation and power that you and I have both experienced, as I fear it is not done with us.
He has like an intensity in his eyes. Like he just feels like unburdened sharing that with you, but also like feels like now there's someone invited into like pondering this burden with him. And he just raises his hand and puts it on your shoulder and gives you a nod and he says, "Yes, Chief." And he takes his hand off your shoulder and then looks ahead, like sort of already like, let's put this behind us, but remember this. He still wants to fight the Fangdom and he still thinks this needs to be done. And certainly probably from talking to the rebels, he knows the injustice that they do. And like, it's not just the Erikai, like this is an enemy, he agrees, but he just like, he is one of you and him are the only Erikai that understands there's like a world beyond the Erikai. And he has this sense that there is more at play and is like worried about what that might be, but like problem for another day kind of notion.
As for our encounters with the Fangdom, though our potential future enemies, Sindor included, may find themselves at odds with the Fangdom, it is no doubt that the future of the Erikai lies with the fall of the Fangdom as well. With the strength of our warriors led by the Unbound, I have no doubt that we can defeat the Fangdom and anyone else who lie in our path.
He gives you a little mischievous grin, like cannot wait to test his power, your power, in all-out war, and looks ahead with his head low as you continue marching towards this fort.
And as we kind of continue to walk, though I didn't bring it up to Jin, I will kind of sneak a peek at my blade as I push it out of its hilt and notice the jagged edges along its sharp edge, thinking of how Jin mentioned his blade became corrupted, and Ryu thinking that there is something different with his awoken Kenoshi and the feelings of powers that he felt flow through it when he awakened as well.
Sick. All right, with that, we'll go to Keeper's Keep. So, you've all returned. Everybody's back at Keeper's Keep. And obviously, Jules brought Kyra with him. Now, I'm sure they're hugging and smooching and kissing kissy, and there's just so much for them to catch up on. And I, for one, am not going to roleplay that moment with my brother-in-law.
I'll do it.
And
I'll do it.
the logistics of a conversation of taking Kyra from Sidonia to space and meeting all these keepers and service and explaining everything that happened, it's just going to take... It would just take forever, okay? So we're going to sort of gloss over that moment, but I do imagine there probably appeared on the node. Dax was over there like swinging his new little sword as he looks over and sort of just sees them all on the node. I'm guessing...
Hey, about time you show up.
Probably whatever moments Jules was about to kiss Kyra, then Waltz awkwardly shows up on the node and just smoldering armor, looking like a total Chad. So you guys are seeing like the immediate signs of success on your missions. You probably briefly share what you did, but I also want everyone to keep in mind one thing. This day for you guys started when you first arrived on Arcta and hiked through the cold snow, fought a Yeti, sit down in a guy's cabin, get a whole bunch of crazy info, lost tough, went to space, met a keeper, met a crazy celestial service, had a whole bunch of information deposited, went on your own separate missions where you did all sorts of crazy things. You guys are probably like literally exhausted and have so much weighing on your individual minds. So I would say after like a brief exchange and catching up with everyone, sort of like comment on your guys' like new horns and armor and all these things. Maybe all like go your separate ways for a second to find like a somber place in Keeper's Keep. And I'll sort of leave that up to you guys, like what that would look like if you want to go find a room or a tower to sit, if you want to sit on the edge of the floating land and just look out at space, if you want to find somewhere like on the grounds, like in any sort of like garden or something they might have. So first I'll just start with Waltz. In fact, Waltz and Dax, if you guys want to go to the same place together and have a little moment, that's totally fine. Then I'm going to go to Jules, but I'll leave that up to you guys. So if you guys just want to take a moment to process what your character has learned and gone through and just explain sort of like what they're thinking, absolutely, you can go do that. And Waltz, also, there was a ton of imagery in what you saw, and it's not necessarily something you're supposed to know right now, but it is something you could like ponder or try and decompress or things like that. So I'll kick it over to Dax and Waltz, however you guys want to handle this.
I picture Dax like sitting maybe on the roof, almost like a gargoyle-esque, like just kind of peering off into space, observing these nebulas, churning all of this new information from Rojira. Like you mentioned, there's a lot on his mind, a lot going through it. So yeah, he's maybe just fidgeting with his new flaming sword.
Maybe like you guys haven't shared everything with each other because it is sort of like a roundtable discussion on certain aspects, but like you know that essentially you inherited a quest of like going into the ethereal and killing Droga, and maybe you haven't like shared that with everybody yet, and like you don't know what quests they may have received or what's at stake, but it's just this like heavy task that is like fallen on you, and you don't know if like you're supposed to bring them in on it or if you're supposed to do it yourself, but like there's just also that weighing on you as well.
Right. Yeah, Dax is feeling heavy, I guess. Like there's a lot of weight on his shoulders. And I think his game plan is to get a good night's sleep or try his best, wake up in the morning and talk with the fellas and maybe try to come up with a game plan. But that's just, he knows he's not going to be productive, but nevertheless, he's pondering it as he sits perched atop Keeper's Keep.
I bet Dax looks so cool, like perched on Keeper's Keep with like new dragon horns and his like wings out and his like sick new gear and shimmering scales.
Sure.
Dope. All right, what's Waltz up to?
Shucks. Yeah, Waltz will be physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted and look for, I think, the most comfortable spot within sight or reach. What might that be, Zach?
If you're going to like the first comfortable spot, I imagine there's sort of like an outdoor like walking garden that just seems like so out of place in space, but it just has like very beautiful like flower and fauna and like little paths, and like obviously the stones themselves are like probably overgrown with like some moss, and some of them are crumbled from the battles that have taken place here. So it's this odd mixture of beautiful but like ransacked and destroyed and things like that. But if you're just looking for the first spot, you could probably find a nice little patch of grass somewhere under like a tree or something like that.
Waltz will walk over to this patch of grass, set down any heavy items that he might be carrying, his shield, his pack, all those things. And if you could imagine what a man Waltz's age would look like after, within the day that you're saying goodbye to Tough and having a very stressful conversation. If you guys remember how stressful that was. And
I do.
I remember.
You remember, right, Dex?
Oh yeah, Dax remembers.
Fighting the Yeti, going on his adventure, fighting another Yeti, I think. Not a Yeti, but an ice giant. All those things. Seeing the inevitable enemy to come. Yeah, like you said earlier, Waltz is exhausted and he's just going to starfish out on his back on the grass. And he just wants to lay there. And you know when someone's just been through a lot and looks like they've smoked like 1,000 cigarettes, or he looks like he really needs a cigarette. Not that he smokes, but you know what I'm saying.
For sure.
And Waltz is just going to try and turn his brain off and not think about anything and close his eyes.
Easy.
Yeah.
I can't even turn my brain off and I have like two things to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just out of exhaustion, he will close his eyes and just try and breathe and take this very rare moment to relax.
Right. And whether you guys needed to hear it or not, I would say like all of your keepers basically like commanded you to rest. Like they have much for you. Like after this, like they know there's a lot going on. And they know your day was crazy long, and they're not like bothering you or pestering you or like anywhere in sight. And you essentially just have undisturbed rest. So we'll cut over to Jules. So like I said, I do not want to role play any of this stuff with Adam. And in fact, you know what's great?
No.
He has a wife, and his wife.
I do have a wife.
She's my sister, and she listens to the podcast. So
She does listen to podcasts.
yes, and I'm actually gonna let them like do this scene. But she's not here right now, and I'm not gonna have her come in because I'm not gonna put her on the spot like that. So they're gonna actually record this, and I don't actually know how it's gonna go. I know generally how it's gonna go because there's
They've been role
revelations that
playing
come out
this
of it.
for a long time.
But from our perspective right now, we're about to like stop recording and then we'll like pick up what would happen after that. So we don't really know what's going to go on, but I would just tell him generally sort of what's going to happen. But suddenly you're going to hear like my sister's voice and just Adam playing, and they're just going to like do this whole scene, and I won't be narrating it or anywhere near it, but that's what's going
Her voice is lower than mine, so
on. Yeah,
just know
absolutely.
the low voice is
We should just like
female.
just have us role play it anyway. Like everyone's like, does Zach's sister sound exactly like Zach? Right. All of a sudden.
You can tell they're related.
But you can
He's
tell
just
I was
doing
very
a voice
intentional
like
by
this.
like when you found Kyra, she like had a thing over her mouth, like she couldn't talk. She was like tied up, and I like glazed over the whole scene where you guys first show up. I was like, I'm not doing it. I refuse. I won't do it. But I want you to have this moment. It's like very important for your character. So with that, I imagine you two are up in a tower in Keeper's Keep, overlooking the vista of space, catching up on all sorts of things and whatever else you guys want to discuss in this interaction. So let's see what they're up to.
Jules guides Kyra through Keeper's Keep and up some winding tower stairs toward the top. Neither of them speaks, but the silence is full of exchanged glances, small smiles, and gentle touches that say everything anyway. Jules feels caught between nerves and a strange, steady calm, grounding himself in the softness of Kyra's hand in his. It's a feeling he's missed since the day he was forced to leave Sidonia. He keeps having to remind himself that this is real. She's real, not another dream to be woken from. At the top, they step into a modest room, warm with cozy furniture and an open balcony that invites the stars and the nebula in. Jules closes the door behind her. They turn to face each other and pause, both hovering on the edge of the first word, unsure where to begin. Kyra?
Jules.
Are you hurt?
No, just a bit shaken and perhaps mildly offended by gravity.
Yeah, gravity's got a nasty habit of bringing people down. He steps in close, but careful, and gently checks her wrists, where the rope might have bitten into or irritated.
Are you
Am I what?
hurt? It looks like that awful lizard folk did a number on you.
Yeah, Redfin was impressively strong, and Jules gets a cocky grin, taking delight in having bested him. But it's nothing Dax can't mend for me.
Kyra tilts her head, taking him in after all this time. You look older.
You say that like it's a crime.
I say it like you've been living a life.
Suppose I have. And Jules will smile, reaching out his hand for her to take. Come with me. And Jules will lead them towards the edge of the balcony. And I imagine there's a pergola overhead threaded with natural vines and wildflowers. It's an incredibly romantic and intimate place to view Keeper's Keep and Keldora's 7 planets floating in the vastness of space.
Oh, Jules.
Keeper's Keep. It's truly something, isn't it?
It's breathtaking.
It is. But Jules isn't looking out at the balcony anymore. He's looking at Kyra.
It's surreal to see Keldora from up here. Like it's all within reach.
It always was in my mind. Do you remember the days of our youth in the coral tree? The way you used to sit there and stare at the mist god, dreaming of what was out there?
Ha! That was your dream. You used to say the surface would smell like salt and freedom.
And you told me I was romanticizing it.
You were.
Perhaps I was, but I was right.
How did you become this? A keeper? And she opens her arms out to a grand gesture towards the keep and everything beyond.
Well, as you know, I left Sidonia with nothing but my ocarina, my mother's necklace, and my father's trident. I tried to be a pirate. And
Tried?
let's just say I was aspirational. Though I met someone not long after. Tough. He became my best mate. My brother. It was just the two of us. Two fools with nothing but stolen trinkets, some half-drunk bottles of rum, and a dream too big to carry.
Then you weren't alone.
No. And Jules will think fondly on their memories, but that thought will quickly die, remembering Tough is currently out there alone. Together we pulled low-level heists, petty treasure, reckless gambles. I mean, don't get the wrong idea. 'Twas never from those in need, just scoundrels and other thieves. But then we stole the wrong thing from the wrong pirate, and I lost him. It was shortly after that when Crookfang found me.
A flash of anger shows on Kyra's face. Crookfang. He's a monster.
He's a pirate. One of the worst for sure, but you learn to expect that when you live the life, though he went too far by taking you. Anyways, he gave me a place on the Black Dawn. He gave me a proper pirate name.
Kyra gets a cheeky smile. Ah, the famous rooster of the Black Dawn.
Don't.
Rooster, do you crow at dawn as well?
Only when the mood strikes. Jules blushes and suddenly feels hot, so he pulls his collar away from his neck to cool himself off.
As Jules pulls his collar out, Kyra suddenly realizes he's covered in tattoos. You've decorated yourself?
It's a pirate thing. Each one a chapter of my old life.
And she flirtatiously smiles. I rather like them.
Jules blushes.
So, why join Crookfang in the Black Dawn? I can't imagine you being so cruel.
Not everyone in his crew was as ruthless. I made many friends on board, in fact.
What made you leave?
Well, it wasn't by choice, actually. Crookfang was after a powerful treasure in the Shaded Sea, guarded by Serapis, a sea serpent big enough to swallow a ship whole. And he inhales as the memory of the shadow in the water haunts him. Crookfang betrayed me. He chained my hands and feet and threw me overboard as bait to lure Serapis while they sailed on.
Jules.
He shrugs, using it as armor. I didn't get eaten, obviously. There was a node beneath the water. Something, and he looks at her, guided me towards it. I touched it, and the world turned inside out. Next thing I know, I'm in another ocean, on another planet, with a wagon full of strangers. And Jules looks down to where Dax and Waltz are. Who became my family? Waltz and Dax, Ryu and Digsby. An old halfling who looked harmless until he opened his mouth and made you believe in something bigger.
Digsby's crew.
You know the name?
I've been listening for you in every rumor I could find. An Azarketi bard, golden eyes, cheekbones that could cut arcanate, and a charm as deep as the Marrow Drop Trench. It was either you or I'd found myself a backup Jules.
Well, for my sake, I hope there's just the one. Anyway, together we fought Drake Knights, an evil druid named Sindor, chased down a magical flower, and returned it home to a city in the sky before stopping it from tearing Lothar apart when it fell.
You make it sound so casual.
Nothing about it was casual, but the crew, they changed me. Even after losing some of them, they've stayed with me. Here, and he places a hand on his heart. Not as ghosts, but as guidance. A whisper in my ear that pulls me back to the righteous path before I've even realized that I've wandered. As for becoming a keeper, it didn't feel like chance or luck. It felt like being recognized, like it was what I was always meant to become.
And through all of that, you survived.
Barely, sometimes. But fate circled back like it always does. Crookfang, you, the lighthouse, I wasn't going to lose you twice. After a moment of staring at each other, his swelling heart becomes too much for Jules to take, and he realizes he needs to change the subject. What of Sidonia? My parents, are they well?
Kyra wears a melancholy smile and looks away. They're alive.
Alive.
Publicly, they played the part of ashamed parents, but privately, they mourned you. When I would visit them, they would share happy memories, speculate what mischief you were up to on the surface, try to focus on the hope that their son was out there, living a life beyond his wildest dreams. But your mother wears her sorrow like jewelry, and your father, he hasn't touched the old songs.
Jules' eyes swell up with tears as he fights them from pouring out. It breaks my heart to hear what it did to them. It was never fair. They only ever wanted me to follow my heart, to make my own music. I feel so selfish.
They love you, Jules, fiercely. Even with you gone from them, they wouldn't have you anywhere other than where you are right now. Trust me.
Jules nods. And how is Zeke?
He's not the boy from the coral tree anymore. He's dutiful, sharp, and he's very good at pretending he doesn't feel things.
A reflection of his father, then. Pity.
Silence stretches out as Kyra gathers courage to say her next words. Jules, there's something I need to tell you.
All right.
The night we planned to run, it was I that told my father.
You what?
He caught me. He was waiting at my door.
So you turned me in?
I had to.
Oh, I see. You had to. After all this time,
If I didn't, they would have killed you. Just let me explain.
Being forcefully torn apart from you was not a simple thing for me to carry, Kyra.
Neither was being left behind. I was on my way to meet you, but my father was waiting at my door. He made it plain, if we ran, the king would frame you for kidnapping the future queen and be justified to hunt you down and have you killed for treason. So I bargained with the only thing I had. I told him I would stay and marry Zeke if he promised you'd be spared and be allowed to leave Sidonia, free. He took that bargain to the king as treason, and Zeke, for all his jealousy, still begged his father to banish you instead of executing you. I did it to save you.
Kyra,
So don't you dare make this neat and simple. Do you know what it cost me to stay? To smile through lessons and ceremonies? To rehearse becoming queen while my heart was aching? Well, every day I felt like I was stepping closer towards a life that didn't belong to me. Why didn't you come back for me, Jules?
Because I was banished by royal decree, never to return. Because if I had gone back, I'd be imprisoned, or worse. Because I didn't know that you were saving me. And because I didn't know if you wanted saving.
You believe I'd abandon you?
My mind tried to. My heart never managed it. So, what made you leave?
As the wedding day grew closer, everything started to feel like it was closing in. The palace halls got narrower. The air felt heavier. Even the songs lost their magic. All I could think of to get me through it was you, of us. And then I remembered the day when we were children, when you played that tune, and King Zolos and my father stopped you like you had spoken blasphemy. I realized it wasn't just pride they felt. It was fear. She looks out at Keldora as she recounts her last days in Sidonia. With my preparation to take the crown, I'd gained access to the royal records. So I started looking quietly, carefully. At first it was obvious things, old ceremonies, approved list of hymns, and the same polished history from our childhood codex. But every time I pulled a thread, there was another lock, another missing page, another sealed drawer.
What were they hiding?
Everything, Jules. Everything. Just days before the wedding, I finally found it. Buried under a mountain of tomes and grimoires was a codex barely holding itself together. It's by luck or fate it still existed at all. The text inside was ancient, archaic, almost unreadable. It's only because of the special tutoring I'd receive as the advisor's daughter that I could make out enough to understand it.
What was in it?
A blueprint, written down like it was an equation. Jules, Sidonia wasn't born from coral crowns and sea-bound lore. It was born from music, a symphonic array of melodies braided together and brought the creation of the Azokedi.
People that were composed into existence?
Exactly. But there was conflict during the creation. 2 melodies with different keys. One melody pushed creation in isolation, for retreat, for safety in the depths. That became the royal family's hymn, the blueprint for a reclusive civilization.
And the other tune?
A sweet melody that yearned for unity, to merge the 2 worlds, above and below the sea, to serve and to be served. A song that would make Sidonia a bridge instead of a cage. Jules, I recognized it as soon as I saw the notes. That melody was yours.
Jules' eyes open wide, but he's speechless as all this information is settling in.
But it was unfinished. The parchment torn and lost forever. The royal family hid this from our people until it became forgotten history.
Now a look of anger and disgust begins to contort Jules' face, and he feels his chest tighten.
But there was one more thing. Perhaps the most important piece to all of this. There was a prophecy written. It spoke of an Azakedi with eyes that glimmered like the sun, and a song in his heart. This Azakedi would be the one who would finish it and bring unity to our people.
So that's why they looked at me like I'd spoken treason through my fingers. They knew. They knew this whole time.
And that's why seeing you banished was kinder than what they wanted. And why I realized I could never live with myself if I married Zeke. I couldn't become the queen of our people and perpetuate a lie. I couldn't spend my life guarding a cage and calling it duty, knowing you were out there, unaware of our people, your destiny. She takes a breath, feeling braver now. So I ran. I risked everything because I knew deep down you weren't just chasing the surface. You were chasing what we could be, what our people could be. You just didn't know it.
All this time, I thought I was writing a sea shanty, an ode to myself, my testimony of storms and friends and loss and finding my feet again. The more I traveled the surface, the more the melody grew, like it was growing towards something.
Toward what?
Jules looks down once again to Dax and Waltz, and a smile forms. Toward my crew. And I'll look to Kyra. And toward you. Toward both worlds. I'm of the sea and the surface now. I've seen both sides, and if I can finish this mythium, maybe I can be what Sidonia never let itself become. Kyra, I'm so sorry I didn't come back. I was angry and frightened, and I didn't have the courage to gamble my life on hope. But you gambled everything.
Tears threaten to block her words, but she steadies herself in Jules' eyes. I never was very good at being sensible around you.
Good, because I'm overwhelmingly grateful that you're here now. I've never stopped loving you. Not for a day, not for a breath.
Neither have I, Jules.
After a beat, he looks out at the planets again, and then back to her like he finally understands the meaning behind it all. You asked me once when we were children what I thought home was, and I said...
A place you hadn't seen yet. A distant horizon to be reached.
In Sidonia, I felt cooped up, like my ribs were too small for my lungs, but on the surface, I kept moving, searching, never feeling I'd found somewhere to plant my feet. He takes her hands. But through all of this, I've realized home isn't a structure, it isn't a city, it isn't even a planet. It's the people who call you back when you're lost. It's the ones you bleed for, the ones who make you better. My crew, they've become my compass. Even the ones I've lost, they still guide me. And you, Kyra, you've always been the song underneath it all. You are my heart, my home. After a moment caught in each other's eyes, they kiss. Nothing overdramatic or intense, just long, honest, and familiar as home. Suddenly, Jules backs away as if a jolt has shocked him back to reality.
What is it?
It's finished. My mythium, it's complete. I can feel it.
Would you play it?
What, here? Now?
Here, now. Sidonia, the surface, your crew and me. All of it in one song. Kyra steps back to make room for her bard to take the stage. Let Keldora hear what they've been waiting on.
Jules steps to the edge of the balcony, looking out at all of Keldora as he's racing through every moment that has brought him to this point. He draws out his ocarina and takes a deep breath before lifting it to his lips.
Jules, as you begin to play, like with each note, like it's almost like you see a different star in the sky like flare a little bit or twinkle differently. It's almost like the stars are like witnessing this song. And as this melody starts to carry across Keeper's Keep, it would even reach the ears of Dax perched atop the castle, and maybe Waltz momentarily lifts his head from his sleep as they both enjoy this tune.
A child of the sea, the ocean flows all lighter than known. A city of the deep, but isolation cannot make a home. And I long for something more. The song within my heart told me to run. Torn apart from my true love, I found my freedom underneath the sun. A pirate of the sea, a scoundrel's life, my destiny was sown. In search of golden dreams, I parried luck till all my tough was gone. And a crew of crooked might, betrayal sting and cast me off the side. In the face of serpent's maw, a vision of my love became my guide. But I still have yet to see what awaits out there for me. With my heart song I will go till I finally find my home. A stranger from the sea, a brand new start where no one knew my name. I joined a fearless crew, together we began to fan the flames. Yet the tides will take their due, I learned a hero's price is never free. For those lost along the way, their echoes steer when I'm called to be. But I think I start to see there are worlds in need of me. With my heart song I will go till I finally find my home. Is my home. With my love here beside me, I'm stronger than I've ever been. She's helped me to awaken my purpose within. And with my crew here to guide me as they whisper to my soul, I can feel in my heart I am finally home. I found my trials we are brave. Now at last it's clear to me, a new strength through unity. With my love and crew, I know that I finally found my home.
And Jules, as the song dies down, you realize like throughout this melody, throughout this like magical tune you're playing, you felt like you were like utilizing notes in a different way. Like it was grabbing magic that you couldn't see before. It's like you've expanded your range, like what is available to you. And that's like the only way you could complete this song. And as you play it, like you don't have this like crazy moment of like energy swirling around you or like magic just pulsing out everywhere, but it's almost like something in you is aligned that was always misaligned. And as you lower the ocarina and you look out at the vastness of space, like whatever method you used of seeing the magic that you called upon, like as a bard when you did these things, like you see more of it, like more is there. And some of this is like from magic that was like completely invisible to you or inaccessible or has no business being intertwined. Like they're like conflicting magics. Like not only does this song seem to enable unity amongst people, it's almost like you can unify magic in a new way as well.
Wild.
And your ocarina, your new magic item, it has essentially become a 7th level magic wand. And normally a magic wand has one spell stored in it, and you can use it once per day. And while you can still only use it once per day, you, if you spend 10 minutes, can change the spell that is loaded in it. Essentially, like getting a hold of a new tune and then like mastering that allows you to like change the spell that your conch can cast. And I may regret this. This is like not a real item, but you can grab this from any spell list. Like you can reach magic that most people can't. So most people got like a 9th level item. Yours is 7th, but like it's new bolsters that it can like change the spell that's in there. So if you spend 10 minutes like kind of fiddling and playing on your ocarina, it's like you unlock this new spell in there.
That's crazy.
All of you, we're going to say in an episode for once on time, all of you, including Ryu, who's not here technically, are all level 10 now. So you all just did a big narrative jump. So Ryu's from like Awakening. He was level 10 when he fought Jin, by the way. I don't know if I ever said that, but his was from Awakening. Waltz is level 10 from unleashing the Isengol and unlocking that. Dax from becoming Draxu, and Jules from realizing his Mythium. And you all get to like rebuild your characters with the free archetype feat. And if there's any little changes you want to make that felt like fitting narratively and like just from playing your character that justifies the new power you have and all of that has been unlocked. And I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the downtime. But you guys are awesome keepers. You've realized your new power.
Yeah, dude.
And there's a lot going on. And you know what? With that, we will end our session.
But I want to use my new powers, Zach.
Yeah, well, you know what you need to do before you use your new powers?
Use them all right now.
You know
Wait, if we're going to sleep, I want to use all my daily powers.
What?
Oh, yeah, you guys can all unload your daily powers.
Yeah, I just want to shoot spells at things.
Like the battles that Keepers Keep that Service was talking about was just people unloading their powers before bed because they knew they would get like a new set of powers in the morning.
I need to unload.
But you know what?
Wasting it.
Shut up.
Because
we're going to talk about that in the downtime. We're going to talk about how all the Keepers used to unload their powers before bed in the downtime.
Smart.
And I'm going to read, have you guys heard of the internet?
You can't read.
What is that, Zach? Tell me more.
It's the. Do you mind if I share?
Yeah, you can
Zach?
take a guess.
The
You can take a
internet.
stab at it.
The internet. The internet is like when it's the part that the fish goes in when you catch it with a net. It's not the outer net. It's the internet.
That's the worldwide net. But what I'm talking about is the internet,
The worldwide net is the one
which
with
is
fish in it?
actually also the World Wide Web.
See, that's confusing.
That's with
It's
spiders.
a little confusing, and that's why it took me so long to find it. But it turns out that the internet is a place where people comment on Mortals and Portals.
Do they comment nice things or mean
No
things?
way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They made that for
Sometimes they
us.
do it on
I've known
Spotify.
Zach
Sometimes they do it
forever.
on. What'd you say? Dan?
Zachary Billibus?
I know
Ernesty,
for
get
sure
outta
Zach
here.
can't read.
Yeah, but luckily the internet also has this thing called ChatGPT, and it read to me. I just had to read what it said. And once I did that, we were good. Yeah, people comment on YouTube. I don't know how they've been getting up there, but our show's been getting on YouTube. It's been getting on Spotify. Who's been posting that? Who knew about the internet in our group?
Who was it?
Adam's
Be
wife.
honest,
I think
guys.
it was
I
Adam.
said no.
Was it Britt?
It was
Was it
Brit,
Brit?
yeah.
Do it?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It sounds like something she'd do.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
well, tell her thanks because turns out we have some nice things written on there. In fact, one of them was on Apple Podcasts, and it was written by.
Now what's that?
Okay.
I have no idea how to explain it to you, so I'm not going to. Is that
The
right?
bit's over, Ryan. We need to move on.
All right,
Yeah.
right. Just call it a
No
donut.
bits.
and I
No
got
bits
it.
I
on the
love
show.
you.
Remember?
It was written
I love
by
you,
Thank
but put your
Duster.
bits away.
It was written by Thank Duster, and whenever I look at Apple Podcast reviews, it always like cuts off the title of the review. So as far as I know, the title of the review was Amazing Pathfinder 2E H, and then like ... So I don't know what starts with H that they might have said. So maybe Homebrew,
Homebrew.
but probably
Homebrew?
most
Oh,
likely.
That's what I thought.
And then
Hilarious.
probably real
When you said
play
that.
because
yeah,
we're really playing.
yeah, we are really playing. And they said,
Or
well,
honk.
what ChatGPT told me it
More
said
likely.
once I read what it said because I can't read, said the
Yeah,
production value
it's
on
still
this
going.
podcast is amazing. It feels like a bunch of friends broke into a studio, stole a bunch of production equipment and people from a studio. So we stole people too, and are using it for their podcast. The
He's
players
onto
are
us.
learning the
Wow.
system as they just started with Pathfinder 2E, but correct a lot of their mistakes as they go. I like how to correct a lot of mistakes. You have to have a lot of mistakes, but we certainly had a lot of mistakes. This makes the show good for learning the system for new players too. I disagree, but thank you. The show also has a good balance of combat and role play, so you won't go too long without either. The world is homebrew and intricate while still feeling like everything is alive. I would recommend this to anyone wanting an actual play. Technically, we're a real play because we're really playing, but thank you. As this is one of the best Pathfinder 2E podcasts out there. So even though we don't...
Well, shucky darn. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean,
They
Thank
really
you.
nailed that.
I don't know
We
how
did.
they knew we broke into the...
Right.
That's exactly what we did.
We were pretty careful about that. Stealing the people
Yeah.
we knew would probably come back to us because we did let them go. So maybe
Yeah, Ryan, you
Yep,
did
Harold
tell
maybe
us
that's
that.
how they
Absolutely
found out
right.
about that.
Yep.
Ryan, yeah, we told you we shouldn't have stole those people, Ryan. Why
Yeah.
were you so
Hey,
adamant?
live and learn.
They weren't even helpful.
Live
They
and
were
learn,
so
boys.
scared the entire time they wouldn't edit.
They weren't. We almost got caught too because you grabbed them.
Eep.
So, Ryan, not now.
because you grabbed them.
That's not what we're here for.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you next time, mortals.
Bye.
Just ended it. So I'll kick it over to Dax and Waltz, however you guys want to handle this.
I bet you're wondering how I got here. I'm just kidding. I don't think I'll say.
Record scratch.
Yeah, you're looking real horny there, Dax.
Okay. I imagine that Dax is